Previously on the Beam Chronicles.
But a month later, the only thing I'd managed to change was getting Sydney's bed moved into Jaxon's room, protecting them from the devil.
It's this coin flip state, this perfect equilibrium of me and Tyler both with equal claim to bodily control. The state Tokumi brought us back into, it's not mine, nor is it Foon's. It's both and it's neither.
So we'll need Jaxon's help. We kill him, you bring him back. I pointed to Tokumi. Then it's up to JT to seize control long enough to knock him out.
Pushing Questopo down even for a few minutes, he's gonna have to brawl for it.
He will.
You sure?
Yeah. For me, he'll brawl.
He's so strong, Charlie. And he's really mad.
I'm gonna sedate you, okay? Just so you don't have to keep fighting him. I'm gonna group to Phil and get a sedative. I'm gonna take you back to HQ. I'm gonna get medical to straighten you out, and then we're gonna figure out how to shut him down for good, but don't worry. All right? I got you now.
I know you do.
I'm not going anywhere. Never again.
I know you're not.
And the second we figure it out, the second we get you back on your feet, you and me and Sydney are burning Beam to the fucking gravel and booking it.
I know we are.
These are the Beam Chronicles, with your host, MJ Dooney. Book 4, Exodus, Chapter 1, Jaxon.
Don't move, please.
In a flash, the boiling chaos ceased. Instantly, the buzzing, the anguish, the screeching madness vanished, and in place of hell, the pure sparkle of heaven. The scattered fragments of sunlight breaking through the leaves of the forest splashed onto her face as she cradled my head, my limp body slung over her knees, while she diligently and frantically searched my eyes, convincing herself it was me and not my demonic, apocalyptic passenger. I couldn't believe it. Charlie's shade had saved my life, exactly as she'd promised. Unfucking believable. I violated the pure tranquility with my whisper.
I told you I'd save you, baby.
She shot back, reaching to my numb cheeks to brush away the tears falling from her own eyes. But I felt nothing. How could I? I still wasn't convinced it was real. And to assure myself, I lifted my hand to grab hers, only to have my frail grip fail me. She salvaged the gesture, catching my twitching fingers and pulling them up to her mouth. I felt her lips. Then the nightmare continued.
You really think you can swallow me just like that, you worm?
The beautiful, unsettling symphony rang through my head as Charlie kissed my feeble hand.
You really think that I'd go down so easily?
Suddenly, I wasn't so numb. But the searing electricity coursing through my body, the fire hose of pressure slamming into the front of my head, the blood-curdling, harmonious yet eerie battle cry, singing from someplace only I could hear, were not enough to distract me from what was most important in that moment. I thought that we agreed. I stuttered, twitching, teeth chattering, as I urged myself along through Questopo's fury. That baby was the dopiest pet name possible. Charlie laughed, interlaced our fingers, cradled my head. The Jagari inside me raged on, but her voice was too important to me, cut straight through.
Sorry. How are you feeling, asshole?
Well, I began, trying not to let on to her the secret war inside my brain.
You maggot! You insect! Don't you know that I am a king? Don't you know that I am a god?
It was a stabbing jolt of pure discomfort, just sudden and scorching enough to force me to show Charlie the struggle I was dealing with, even if I didn't want to. I instinctively jerked my neck to the side, letting loose a betraying groan. I resolved to just explain. Kind of like there's a really pissed off, vengeful alien screaming and pounding away on the inside of my skull with a sledgehammer. Questopo chuckled, proud that he'd managed the moral victory of getting me to admit his impact on me. To make it all worse, the numbness was continuing to wear off, and as it did, the physical pain, to match the psychological one, started to wash over me. I added offhandedly. Plus, like 3 really strong people spent the last 15 minutes thoroughly kicking my ass. You and Tyler, huh?
Well, not exactly. It's a long story.
I am going to annihilate all of mankind!
Questopo bellowed, clawing and pounding at my skull.
The very instant I get the opportunity, your planet will be erased! Do you hear?
Hey, what? I gasped over him, and he suddenly shut up. I realized that when I was speaking, Quez couldn't. When was?
JT, cool it. You don't have to talk right now.
Nah, I kinda do.
It would behoove you, wouldn't it, cretin?
Questopo snarled in the brief pause between sentences. Listen to me, I insisted, ignoring his taunts. When was the last time? But even if he couldn't speak, he could keep clamoring like a wild beast, beating on my psyche to get back to the surface. It was a pain I couldn't describe, so raw and primal, aching yet sharp, twisting yet burning, mental and physical. The sort of pure, unmitigated anguish one could only inflict were inside his opponent's head, souls intermixed the way Questopo's was with mine. I grimaced and arched my back up, again purely out of reflex. All the while he shrieked and shredded and tore like a caged monster, thrashing in berserker rampage. I held my breath patiently until Questopo released me temporarily from the torture. With a weak exhale, I persisted. I had to keep talking, because shutting him up was nice, but beyond that, what I started to say was obviously important. When was the last time I told you that you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life? She laughed again, simultaneously crying a bit. It made everything worth it.
In those exact words, it's been quite a while, I think.
I'm going to kill her.
He softly sang, with an air of sudden eureka, like he admitted the recollection of how best to undo me just as it popped into his head. My blood quickly turned into ice water.
I'm going to massacre her, slaughter her while you watch Jaxon Teak. You won't even recognize her by the time I'm done. She will beg for death before I'm through.
His wicked, furious laughter echoed in my head as I tried my damnedest to focus on Charlie, not the violent threats of the Jingari general. Ignoring Quez was always the best way to piss him off, and as he realized my tactic, he quit laughing, went back to howling and violating my mind. The torment was so intense by this point, my vision blurred, but in spite of it, I felt the corners of my mouth curl up into a smile as I started breathing heavier. He's so strong, Charlie, and he's really mad.
I'm gonna sedate you, okay? Just so you don't have to keep fighting him. I'm gonna group to Phil and get a sedative. I'm gonna take you back to HQ. I'm gonna get medical to straighten you out, and then we're gonna figure out how to shut him down for good, but don't worry, all right? I got you now.
Meaningless, impossible promises, Jaxon. She cannot help you. She cannot save you from me. I can't be defeated. I have no weaknesses.
I know you do.
I'm not going anywhere. Never again.
You cannot escape me, boy. I am eternally a part of you.
I know you're not.
And the second we figure it out, the second we get you back on your feet, you and me and Sydney are burning beam to the fucking gravel and booking it.
This is not over. Do not underestimate my tenacity. I pursued the Umthifmo across universes to enact my revenge. Our story is far from finished, Jaxon Teak. We are destined to struggle against each other from now to the bitter end.
I know we are. She laughed, a quick burst of a laugh. I like to think all of my responses were to her, not him. But the world had gotten so fuzzy, so painful, so angry, and all of it so quickly I couldn't even distinguish what my own words meant.
I love you, JT.
She jabbed the syringe into my neck, and I deliriously managed to mumble one last vital thing. I love you too, Charlie. I'm glad I got it in. I didn't know when the next opportunity would be to say it again. I would never discover which sedative specifically it was that Charlie administered to me. Beam had a lot of them, with a vast variety of subtle differences. Back in the old days, the anomaly-busting days, we used to take in deranged engineers and fame-thirsty madmen all the time, several of whom had developed chemical weapons to achieve their specific goals. As we captured or equalized them, Beam would confiscate whatever it was they had created, hand it over to research and technology, who would learn how to synthesize it, add the substance to our impressive repertoire of patents, and be done with it. It was like every bust made us a little stronger, acquiring power as we went. Hell, for a while there was even this anonymous internet forum on which anomalies could post a request for some chemical, a steel corrosive liquid or a gas that made anyone who inhaled it temporarily blind or crazy or both, stuff like that. And cave trolls across the country and their mom's basements would post recipes without repercussion. Beam took the whole network down eventually. Not even the internet could outgrime Lambert Lucas in the scouting department, but I'm not entirely sure this particular branch of freedom via faceless chemical terrorism was one I would have supported, even if I were granted the choice. Anyway, when I opened my eyes again, what felt like a second later, I assumed the surreality surrounding me was merely an unknown side effect of the chemical Charlie had injected into my neck to knock me out. I was floating aimlessly through an abyss, not entirely sure which way was up, not entirely sure up was a concept that existed, wherever the hell I was. It wasn't white or black, the way you'd probably expect your typical abyss to be, but instead it was this odd insecurity of color. You know when people tell you that you dream in grayscale, and then you try to remember your dream last night, and you can't really recall what color things were? It was just like that fuzzy attempt to recall color of a dream, only playing out in real time all around me. Like I was observing it and then forgetting it simultaneously, dumping it from my sensory register before I had a chance to really process what it was. I tried to focus my eyes, make any distinction just so this splitting frustration headache would dim a little, but to no avail. There was nothing to focus on but meaningless static, wavy nonsense. Until I spotted a faint red blob in the distance. And red was the first concept in this bizarre place that made sense to my brain, so practically out of instinct, without a second thought, I began to flail my arms and kick my legs, dragging myself closer to it. A bizarre option to choose for a mode of transport from a man who could telekinetically fly, I grant you, but it seemed to be working. I started to pull into focus, close enough to the red blob that I could make out the chaotic tentacles lashing out from its head. Did it really have a head? Could this be a person, or at the very least, a living thing? It had the appearance of a human-shaped figure hunched over, hanging its neck. Maybe crying. Excuse me? I meekly called out to the blob, except the abyss was so vacant, my gentle, meager whisper produced an echoing boom, enough to startle myself, send me toppling into a backflip. But even as I came around from it, my audience hadn't flinched. Only when I was completely reoriented back upright did he slowly lift his head, rise up into the air, allowing the tentacles all around his body to drape haphazardly, and then twist what might be considered his neck to peer at me over what might be considered his shoulder, the familiar piercing blue of his eyes. Things got stranger from there. As he spun around completely to stare at me, I saw him fully. This strange red tentacled creature from Nightmares of Yesterday, with two blue orbs on either side of three vibrating tendons running the length of his face. But then, at the same time, I saw myself, bald and naked, hovering in front of him, a look of confusion only overcome by the exhaustion in my beaten, baggy eyes. Both images at once, somehow simultaneously, as if I could see him through my eyes and me through his, as if they were the same eyes altogether. I started to puke, and for a couple of reasons. The first of which was it was utterly nauseating to see two things from two sets of eyes at once. I don't think my brain really knew how to handle it, so it just started throwing out commands that might accomplish something. Vomit was as good of an effort as any. Furthermore, I think the nature of this place, whatever the hell it was starting to catch up to me. Even the way my barf vanished seconds after it left my mouth was unsettling, to the point where it just made me want to throw up more. Additionally, nothing really makes you puke quite like watching yourself puke, which I had a super rare, lucky opportunity to do through his eyes. But I think most importantly, I'd suddenly realized who this creature was. How could I not throw up the second I figured that out? After I had just about settled my stomach, we blinked, and when all four eyes opened up, the red guy had disappeared. In his place was another copy of me, an exact, bold replica down to every last detail save one. Those sparkling, uncanny blue eyes.
I thought it might be stabler for you to comprehend this form,
Questopo muttered.
I assume your brain can't do much better with dual perception than a mere overlay of images, so aligning them may save you from your apparent nausea.
The musicality of his voice was as present as ever, and yet slightly different when he spoke now. Each time I had heard him before, it was boisterous, flaunting bravado, as if he loved the tonal nature of his speaking, as if it substantiated his swagger, his claim to power, his whole illusion. Questopo spoke like a mighty pipe organ in an old cathedral, but now it was like a weak penny whistle he was playing with his nose. Almost like he was trying to deprive it of the fanfare, but couldn't really eliminate it completely. It had an air of exasperation or embarrassment, as if he recognized it was inappropriate in the circumstances for him to be so proud and mysterious and romantic as his harmonic voice painted him to be. The smallest twinge of me felt bad for him. Only the smallest twinge.
I'm much more well adapted to sharing a mind with you than you are with me. May I remind you?
He snapped, slightly less sheepishly than before.
So if you're really trying to pull me apart telekinetically, the first thing you should realize is I know you're doing it. And once your puny little grub intellect is wrapped around that concept, perhaps you'll recall the only reason you possess your telekinetic powers at all is that you share a dull romp with me. Therefore, if I'm right in front of you, what sort of logic leads your infantile, enfeebled peanut of a brain to believe you still possess those powers? And finally, if either of us could kill the other in here, don't you damn well believe it by now? I would have diced you into microscopic bits of filth while you floated around in stupid bewilderment and oral excreta. You vile louse!
By the end of his tirade, he had crescendoed back to full chorus. I was accustomed to hearing it by now, given the past 2 weeks of riding around inside of him while he terrorized the planet and destroyed the masses, all the while taunting me with his thoughts. The sound of Questopo speaking was far from intimidating anymore. If anything, I preferred this voice to the slightly ashamed one he used before I tried to pull him apart. Where are we?
Where, he asks?
Questopo, now fully enveloped in his cloak of arrogance, talked about me as if I weren't the only other person in existence in this realm.
Where? Do you really lack the imagination and cognitive ability to conceive of a state of being divorced from physical space? You ask for a location, but you are too moronic to even understand that's not the question you want answered. Where we are is in Beam headquarters, sitting in a bed in medical, but that's not what you were wondering, was it?
I didn't give him the satisfaction of agreeing with him, just snarled instead. He ignored me, kept talking, as he loved to do.
To be fair, it's not entirely your fault. Your little primordial society, your primitive language, combined with your underdeveloped perception and thought. You don't even have the right questioning word to ask about our current plane of existence, much less the verbiage for me to explain it appropriately. You can't take an ant.
Why are we here? I interrupted his rambling, cocksure analogy to press the issue. If I let him speak his fill, I'd never get out of this place. Plus, it offended him so thoroughly to be interrupted, evidenced by his bared teeth, the twitch right above his eyebrow. I couldn't pass up the opportunity.
I brought us here.
He explained in the reedy, unsure tone he'd led off with. Can you tell me a little more, or is there some interrogative my primitive caveman language is missing that would better prompt you to elaborate? To my snotty retort, he just sheepishly nose-laughed, averted his gaze temporarily until he realized that I was still seeing through his eyes, and moving his head around would make me queasy. It was odd and somewhat uncomfortable, watching him oscillate between his standard pompous haughtiness and the humble realization that wherever we were, he and I were perfectly equal. If anything, I was above him for having so recently bested him.
In a few moments,
he explained.
You will wake up, in your body full control. My voice nowhere to be heard, save your distant memories. You see, you probably don't remember this, given the frailty of your human mind, but up to now, we were in constant flux. The mechanism by which my Dolrog was suppressed was incomplete, fuzzy, and twisted. Resurrection gave us both equal claim to the body, and thus, you and I were caught in limbo, interchanging Dolrog control at the feeblest of stimuli. It is why you could hear me scream and feel me fight whenever you had control, and vice versa.
He was right about one thing. I didn't remember any of that. I felt like puking again as I considered just how long we had apparently spent in this purgatory of exchanging who was driving my body. I wanted to ask, but he seemed to be getting through his little speech, and if I truly was a short time away from waking up, I figured it'd be better to ask someone I didn't despise.
But it seems that your friend Charlie Shade, in her unfathomable resourcefulness, has uncovered a way to undo the careless error and shut me away for good. I will not be able to struggle against you any longer. I will not even be able to find you, just like before most of your life. You will not hear my voice unless you set to kill someone. This time, when you wake up, you will be Jaxon Teak again, and the only faint glimmer of Questopal left will be the telekinetic power I have granted you since you began this journey.
I couldn't help but smirk at how thoroughly my best friend Charlie had successfully thwarted yet another unparalleled monster of raw power. Questopo saw that smirk and retaliated against it with a twitching scowl.
I want you to know that what I proclaimed the day of my downfall is no less true. Now I will kill her, Jaxon. I will kill her and destroy you before all is said and done. I want you to understand that my hatred for you is only narrowly eclipsed by my hatred for her. The Jingari are a proud race. We respond very poorly to being so entirely embarrassed. There is no being in creation, not even Mo, who is more deserving of my wrath than Charlie Shade. And when the time is right, I'm going to eviscerate her without remorse, but alas, the time is not right. The world is understandably in disarray in the wake of my conquest, my search for Mo. You will quickly find that very much has changed, and while I'm confident in my ability to adapt and thrive under a vast array of normal circumstances, you'll discover one of the key alterations to your homeworld is an overabundance of the cowardly violet glass you and yours refer to as Ajax. A beam army equipped with my one true weakness, flanking me from the right, and meanwhile from the left an angry, jilted, powerful lover with nothing to lose, who has already proven her tenacity to best me in battle. I am a technician and a general. I understand the futility of a two-front war, believe me. Were I even able to awaken with control of the body we share, I would relinquish the capacity to you out of free will. For Charlie is well versed in surviving this new world. You and I are not. And Charlie will help you make your way through it. She may fail. Granted, she probably will. But it would be foolhardy of me to allow my grudge against the two of you to cost me my own chance at redemption somewhere down the road. So for now, I relent. For now, I offer you the meager bit of assistance that I have at my disposal to secure the safety of our body. For now, I'm going to help you. But make no mistake, Jaxon Teak, do not be so foolish as to misconstrue my current bit of aid as anything more than a survivor taking advantage of his best opportunity to survive, biding my time for the appropriate moment to regain power and massacre all you hold dear. I still abhor you with every atom in my body, but instantaneously our motives are aligned. And so in this instant, I will push both of us toward our goals. When you wake up, keep your eyes closed. Do not move, do not breathe. Wait for Charlie to detect your wakefulness. Let her save you for now. Put all your trust in her.
Always have, I replied flatly. He rolled his eyes, reverted back to his red tentacled form, and I held my breath to keep back the vomit.
In that case, you should be fine. At least in the shortest of terms. There is no more I can offer you, and so I will sit back and watch the show. Hope the two of you get as lucky against your new enemies as you did against me. Good luck, old nemesis. Try to keep us safe. And I eagerly await the day of my next awakening.
In spite of the unruly madness ravaging my brain, in spite of the undeniable urge to throw up, I found the courage somewhere in the pits of my bowels to laugh in the face of this meaningless threat. And he shot me a look of befuddlement, strangely detectable in spite of his lack of any traditional facial cues. You're right.
To what do you offer such scorn, boy?
Your next awakening is never happening. We grounded your haughty, ugly ass, and it's damn well staying grounded. For as much as you hate me, detest me, wish me dead, I reciprocate it tenfold. So consider this place, whatever the hell it is, your new home, and get used to it quickly. Because I know what it takes to let you out now. I'm never killing anyone again, just to keep you in here. The tendrils in the center of his face twisted in a way I could just faintly identify as a smirk.
Take it from he who has lived in this position before. It's much harder to abstain from murder when everyone in the world is out for your head.
Well, good. It's nice you're so convinced. Why don't you keep repeating that little mantra to help you get to sleep at night as you rock yourself into oblivion and irrelevance for the rest of your time, Quez? I'll unleash you again when hell freezes over.
A frozen hell is not the pinnacle of absurdity. Either of us has experienced stranger, and there's no time left to bicker. The moment of your revival has come. Good luck to you.
I remember hoping it would be the last time I heard the melody of his voice for the rest of my life. But the thought was short-lived. Because as soon as he finished talking, I was ripped back into the real world, the solid, material one that I understood without barfing. I could hear the beeps and the grinding whirs of medical's most advanced equipment, could smell the antiseptic scent of sterility, and feel the cheap low thread count sheets they put on the beds rubbing against my legs. My head was cold, and I realized it was bald, completely shaven, just as it was in the abyss moments ago. And it ached. This throbbing, intense pressure right behind my eyeballs and at the bridge of my nose. Finally, I detected a tender burning pain in the palms of either of my hands. This was all the more I could deduce lying there, because I still did not open my eyes, didn't breathe, didn't move a muscle. Just like he warned me. The one nice thing Queztopo ever intentionally did for me. Seconds later, I heard a strange, clamoring, electrical sparking sound, followed by a loud, wailing siren, then felt a body land on top of me. I could only assume it was Charlie.
You really up?
She breathlessly whispered, brushing her hands over either of my cheeks. To either cradle my head or break my neck, I couldn't really tell, maybe both, depending on the situation. I snapped open my eyes, took a moment for them to adjust into focus under the humming fluorescent ceiling lights, and when they eventually did, I smiled. She was every bit the Charlie that I'd known for years. The only key difference being her clothes. Gone was the trench coat of yesteryear, and in its place, the standard bean uniform she had forever insisted wasn't necessary for her to wear. I watched her stern, furrowed-up brow relax as pure relief washed over her face.
Thank God those eyes are brown.
She sighed, slicking back the one lock strangling across her face, back with the others.
I was starting to think maybe... Never mind, whatever.
Charlie... I croaked weakly, scarcely audible above the alarm. What the hell is going on?
No time, JT, sorry. We got a book. The cameras I knocked out are self-repairing fill technology. They'll be back up in a few minutes. We need you out of this room before that happens, or it's all for nothing anyway.
Charlie was very good at removing people from rooms very quickly.
Thank you for listening to The Beam Chronicles, a fiction podcast written and produced by me, MJ Dooney. If you haven't already checked out my Patreon, it is perfectly free to access all of the stuff I got on there, and what I got on there ranges from a full complete 6-episode side quest miniseries called The Ben Chronicles to some weirdly existential posts where I contemplate my position in the creative pantheon as a storyteller and how AI fits into that. But anyway, like I mentioned last week, I'm also doing this weekly blog style post on there with some inside info or extra details. This week I'm going to talk about far and away my least favorite character to voice, Quez Topo. I'm so glad he's gone. I hate that motherfucker so much, not because he killed a billion people, literally just his voice. But if you want to know more about all that, or if you're interested in the other stuff, or frankly, if you just want a place where you can chat with me and other fans on a more personal level, please join my Patreon. You can click support the show in the episode description. You can also go to patreon.com/thebeamchronicles. If you feel inclined to pay for it, thank you deeply. Some other stuff you can do to show your support if you've enjoyed my little passion project. 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Always helps with the algorithms there. You can also email me, beamchronicles@gmail.com. I respond pretty quickly. I have other social media that I basically never use. Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Still looking for stuff to put on there. But most of my effort's been focused on Patreon. Like I said last week, kind of beating that drum really hard right now. All music and sound effects were sourced from the Epidemic Sound Library. Special thanks to my wife for creating the new cover art for the show. Thanks again for listening.